Hello, Cindy. So we are live, and if you could make me your co-host too, since I'll be your TA for today. Thank you.
I'll take care of that now.
Okay, thanks, Cindy.
Uh-huh. Good afternoon. How are you doing? Do I pronounce it cease? I can never remember how to pronounce it. And then we have Ingrid on. Afternoon, Ingrid. And Carol. Hi, Carol. I think we're going to have a fairly small class today, so we'll get going pretty quickly here. Just take another minute and let everybody get settled and everything. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. I think we're going to have a pretty small class today. We'll say that we do have Kim on board with us. She's one of our TAs, and she's going to help me monitor the chat, make sure I don't miss anybody's questions or anything. My name is Cindy. I'm going to be your guide for the class, and we're going to talk about how to use Audible today. If at any point in time you have a question or a comment, just feel free to unmute yourself and ask the question while we're talking about everything as we go along. I feel like as a question comes up, that's the good time to ask it while we're on the topic, and that way we won't forget to ask anything that we're not sure about. A couple of more people are joining here. I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about Get Set Up before we get started. And I'm going to actually share my screen with a little bit of a PowerPoint so that I can talk about Get Set Up. And hopefully everybody can see my screen here with Audible on it. I'll say Audible is an online bookstore for audiobooks. I'm sure a lot of you already know that. Going forward here, I just want to talk a little bit about Get Set Up and myself. This is just a little bit about me. I have an MS in education. I'm a radiologic technologist, an X-ray tech, and a teacher. I've taught and worked in the healthcare field for many, many years. Recently retired as a director of one of the imaging departments here in the Houston area. At Get Set Up, I appreciate it if you have your cameras on. It's fun to see each other's faces as we learn and react to things that we hear. If you don't want to turn them on, that's fine with me too. I certainly understand. This class is being recorded. If you would like to watch the class again on your own time, you can certainly do that. Just send an email to help@getsetup.io right here on the screen and tell them the name of the class that you want to watch again, and tell them the date that you took it on. So just send them an email and they'll send you a link where you can actually go on and view the video of the class again. If any of you are joining by live stream, I will say that the best way to participate is to join us and register for a class online. Also, we talk about a lot of different products when we teach our classes with Get Set Up, and we don't get paid to promote any or sponsor anything like that. No kickbacks or anything like that. We just use these products to help us teach our classes and teach you guys cool new things to do. If you would help us spread the word about Get Set Up, if you're interested in hosting a topic, if there's something that you have a big interest in and would like to host an interest group, just let us know. You can send remarks to help@getsetup.io and tell us what you'd like to do. You can also tell us if there are other classes that you'd like for us to create for you, other things that you're interested in. We depend on you guys a lot for ideas for the classes that we come up with to teach everybody. After you have the class, after we're finished today, I'll be sending out a class note follow-up email. It'll look something like this. It'll have class notes in it, which will actually involve some of the key points that we're going to talk about today with Audible. It will also have some suggestions for other classes that you may be interested in taking. And it will also have a feedback link on it. You can click on the feedback link and a little box will pop up like this where you can leave us feedback for the class. You can rate the class itself, the content of the class. You can rate the guide that's teaching it. And down here is a little box where you can actually type in an email message to Get Set Up and tell them maybe if you're interested in hosting a group or if you have other ideas for classes or things like that. The number of stars default to 4. However, you can rate us anything from a 5 down to a 1. Just click on the stars that you want to rate us. And then these ratings come actually back to us, the guides. We all review them and use them to help us improve the classes that we teach. Okay, any questions on any of that? I'm going to stop my share for just a minute. We're all good to go on learning about Audible. Let me any questions about Audible before we get started, or if you would like to share exactly what you want to get out of this program today?
I really don't know anything about Audible, so.
Okay.
Fresh slate.
Okay. We'll just kind of, same, okay. We'll go through a lot of it just kind of step by step. And I'll say that the questions that you guys have will help me guide the direction that the class will go in. There's a lot of stuff on the Audible site or the Audible app that you can do. So as you have questions, feel free to ask those, and I'll make sure hopefully that I can guide this towards the questions that you have in hopes that you'll be able to use Audible to have a little bit of fun with it. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Hopefully you can all see the screen right here in front of us. And we're just going to go in and look at Audible. This is the website audible.com. I have signed in here and this is what it looks like. Now I've got a couple of other screens I'm going to show you too. There's all kinds of help sites and things like that that tells you about Audible. There's a good site that we're going to look at that explains the different types of memberships that you can have with Audible. But the really cool thing is that Audible has a month free trial that you can sign up for and use it for a month, and it doesn't cost you a thing. So I will also send you the link where you can go in and take a look and sign up for the free trial, or actually you can just go to audible.com and sign up for that free trial if you'd like. So here's what Audible looks like. And as I said earlier, Audible is basically what we used to think of when we go to the stores and purchase books on cassettes or books on CDs. It's basically an online bookstore for books that you can listen to. So when you go into Audible and you set up your account, this is what it looks like. You can see up here at the top, there's some menus around here, some things, different things that you can go to. And there's also something that's always scrolling through here that you can actually stop and listen to. And we'll actually listen to a couple of things here. I'm going to go back, stop my share for just a minute. I need to turn on the sound. I forgot to turn on the sound so you guys can actually hear some of the Audible, what it sounds like when you listen to Audible. Now, there's a lot of different narrators that narrate books. You can actually follow specific narrators if you want to find a book with a selection of someone that you like their reading style, things like that. First thing I want to talk about, now that we've actually seen kind of what the page looks like, before we get into anything that's a little too confusing, I want to talk just a little bit about the types of memberships that you can actually use on Audible. And I'm going to go back and share the PowerPoint that I have here and go down to an opening slide here. How many, so are any of you already using Audible at all? Not at all. Nobody's using it.
Yeah, I do use it.
You do use it?
I try. I've had some problems getting my phone. I mean, I have it on my phone.
Okay.
Starting and being able to start it and stop it.
Right.
And but I've used it for a couple years, and I've got like way more books on my thing that I'll ever be able to listen to.
I know, I do too. Don't feel
Yeah.
like the Lone Ranger. It's very easy to get carried away. There's so many good books and so many great topics and things like that.
Right.
I will say that there is an app for Audible, and that's actually what we'll probably try and talk about the most. The app and the website works very, very much the same. The reason for using the app is because most people want to listen to these books while they're out in the yard gardening or going for their afternoon walk or something like that. So if you have the app on your phone or your iPad, you can actually take that device with you if you're traveling or something like that, and you can listen to these books while you're away from your home network and not actually hooked up to an internet somewhere. You can actually download the books on your iPhone or your phone, your Android or your tablet, even your Android tablet. Kindle Fires work with Audible. Audible is actually owned by Amazon. And however, if you have a Prime Amazon account, that does not include your Audible account. You still have to go in and set up an account, a membership type with Audible, but it is owned by Amazon. So there are several different membership plans available. They're very affordable, up to you can spend as much as you want. We're going to talk about each one of these and what each one of these means. There's a little bit of differences there. But what I want to do is talk starting out about the trial plan. For a month, you get a free trial plan to go in and download anything you want to listen to. You can purchase books if they're not included with your membership or with the trial plan. But there is something called an Audible Plus program that they have. And what Audible Plus is, it is an extra set of things in a library that have been created specifically for Audible. So if you're on an Audible plan, even the minimal plan that costs $7.95 a month, you can have Audible membership for $7.95 a month. And it includes any books out there that you may want to purchase, just as if you went to a bookstore. But it also includes this Audible Plus catalog that they have. So these are things, as I said, created for Audible, and some of them are actually books that you could purchase in a bookstore, but because of relationships that Audible or Amazon has with these authors and booksellers, they're able to offer those for free too. For example, I wanted to read the book 1984. I had never read all of it. And so I went into Audible and was going to purchase it actually to listen to, and found out that it was actually part of the Audible Plus catalog. So I got it for free. So I've been reading that for a while. So the trial plan includes their regular bookstore that has everything in it, plus all of the free things that the Audible Plus catalog has. So that's what you get for the trial plan. And I highly encourage you to go ahead and sign up for the trial plan. It's free for a month. Just make yourself a note on your calendar somewhere that here's the date you need to cancel before you're charged. And that way you can actually use it for a month. If it works for you, maybe you want to get one of the membership plans. If it doesn't work, you can cancel it and you won't be charged a penny for that 1 month that you have. Now, we'll say anything that you download in the Audible Plus plan, if you cancel your plan, it won't be available to you going forward. There'll be a little lock symbol beside any of those books because you can't access the Audible Plus catalog unless you actually are a member. But anything else that you purchase and download, that's yours to keep for as many years as you want. I was a member about 4 or 5 years ago, and then I had lots to read and just never caught up. So I canceled the membership. And then I joined again about 6 months ago. And the books that I purchased 4 years ago are still in my library. So I can still go in there and read them at any point in time that I want. I have one that's very good. I forgot was in there, and I need to finish up reading that one. So this slide was just a little bit about the trial plan for you. Any questions on the trial plan? Okay. The next plan that they have available is something called Audible Premium Plus plan. Now, what this is a plan that basically is one step up from the $7.95 plan a month. It's $14.95 a month. You can see down here on the bottom. And this includes everything that you get in the trial plan, which is the whole selection of the bookstore, plus the Audible Plus catalog. Plus, you get 1 free credit a month to buy any book in the bookstore that you want. So if you're a James Patterson fan and there's a book that's come out recently, you've not purchased it, you've not read it, it's probably not going to be on the Audible Plus catalog because it's a new book, but it would be on this Premium Plus plan. And with that 1 credit, you can actually get that book for free. So these credits come to you 1 a month at the beginning of every month, and you can get any book in the Audible store that you want. So that's the advantage of being a member with the $14.95 a month plan. You get that extra 1 credit for any book that you want. And the books run the same price, just as if you were actually in a physical bookstore shopping for those books. You may get a book that's, you know, something you want and it's a $45, $94 book or something. You would get it free with that 1 free credit. So that's the Audible Premium Plus. Now here's one that's like 1 step ahead of that. It's called the Audible Premium Plus plan with 2 credits. It basically works the same way, but you get 2 credits a month right up front at the beginning of every month to purchase any 2 books that you want. And as you can see down here, the price is a little more. It's $22.95 a month. And all of these plans, you can cancel them anytime that you want. There's no contract or anything like that. You can cancel anytime you want. As someone said earlier, when you get so many books, you don't have time to read them. You can go ahead and cancel your plan and catch up on all the reading and then go back and start again whenever you're ready to add more books to your library. So this is the 2 credit Audible Premium Plus plan. Now there are 2 memberships that you can do that are for a year. You pay for it all at once up front. Of course, they're pricey. However, the advantage to those is that you get all of your credits right up front. So let's take a look at that. This yearly plan right here with your 12 credits, it's actually $119.50 for your first year, which is actually a little bit of a savings there, but it's $119.50. Now the difference in the yearly plan and the monthly plan is you get all of your 12 credits right up front. So you can go ahead and have all of those credits right up front and purchase any books that you want rather than 1 month at a time. The second is a yearly plan for the Audible Premium Plus Annual, where you get 24 credits, Works the same way as this one, except it costs more. Obviously, it's $229.50 a year, but you get all 24 of your credits right up front. Okay. Most people, I think, go with the monthly plans. They're a little bit more affordable that way. Any questions on the plans or what they include or don't include? Everybody's okay with all of that. Sometimes there's confusion about the Audible Plus program. Some people may say, well, why do I want a membership if I can get everything for free in the Plus catalog? Well, you still have to pay that $7.95 a month for the things that you do get free in the catalog, because Audible does pay royalties to the people that write the books and put the things together. Now, I'll also say Audible has access to a ton of podcasts. If any of you like to listen to podcasts, I know I have a tendency to not sit still for very long to read, or sometimes if I read going to bed, I fall asleep before I get through much of it. So I do listen to a lot of podcasts, and sometimes I have a drive that's maybe 30 minutes, and that's usually the podcasts are about 30 minutes or so long. So that works out really well. Any questions before we go back out to the website and take a look at that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
What is a podcast?
A podcast is actually, it's a very short 25, 30-minute version of a story, or it could be a radio show. For example, we have a radio show here in town called The Michael Berry Show on one of our local AM stations. And he does a radio show and just talks about different things, everything from politics to things in schools and stuff like that. And he records them each day into what he calls a podcast. So if one day you don't get to listen to it on the radio, you can actually go in and download this podcast. And let's say I could listen to a podcast from last Thursday that I missed, if it's something that I like to follow. There was
Sounds like a Reader's Digest, the little short stories kind of thing.
Yeah, you could compare it to that. Absolutely.
Okay.
Someone else had another question. Was it Carol?
Yes, I do. I'm wondering where I can find the podcasts. I didn't realize that.
I'll show you.
Okay.
Yeah, they're on there, and there's so many. I will say I've listened to different podcasts, but I've never really been stuck to where I listened to a series of them until I got on Audible. They had one called The Apology Line, and these podcasts were broken up into, there was like, I don't know, maybe 8 or 10 different podcasts. And I just followed each one. And it was kind of like watching Dateline, Dateline or something like that. But it was so interesting. It was about a man in New York that actually set up a phone line where people could call in and just apologize for anything that they ever wanted to apologize for in their life, that they did to something or that they did themselves, but it was very interesting. It was very good. So that there are podcasts where you can actually follow a podcast and you can download the whole series of the podcast if you want. So let's jump back out on the internet and take a look. Were there other questions while I'm doing this? Want to make sure I don't miss anybody's questions. Okay, so here we are looking at the website, and I'll go through this. I'll go through this and show you how it works on the computer, and then we'll jump onto the app, because as I said, a lot of people use the app, and you may want to do the same thing. You may have a tablet or something, and sometimes what I do, it sounds kind of crazy, is I have television on and I'm watching the television screen kind of, but I'm listening to a podcast or listening to my book or something like that. So once you create your free account and you sign in, this is kind of what you see here. Now, the things that are scrolling across here, these are actually kind of like podcasts. You can actually listen to them. And this is something that's created. These are different podcasts about, I think, a mother and a daughter who switches their bodies or something like that. There are things that you can look at or listen to rather here. This is a podcast about rock and roll. This is one from Billy Joel, and it's actually him just talking about music and things like that. Then here's a whole bunch of different podcasts that you can just go in and listen to. And it just scrolls that through there and just kind of promotes the things that they have. As you scroll on down through the page, you start to see all of the different categories and things. Here is something that's top books and podcasts that Audible Plus members are listening to. You can scroll and look at any of those. If you actually hover over any of the book pictures, a little pop-up comes up and it tells you about the book, what the book's about, tells you how it's been rated, and gives you a little bit about the book so you know whether it's something you might want to listen to or not. So you can just keep scrolling through here. These are all the top listens that are going on right now. If you scroll down, you can see the Audible Plus catalog. This shows everything that's included in it. If you see something that says included, this means that it's free for you. You can download it for free and listen to it. Sometimes then there are some that you do have to pay for. These are basically podcasts that are trending right here. And so if you wanted to listen, I believe if you want to listen to one of them, for example, Dateline, it doesn't say included. You could listen to one of them, but then I think you have to be a member to subscribe to the rest of them. But you can scroll through all the different podcasts here. Here's one place that you can find them. You can go through here and just keep going and look at all the different podcasts that are out here. There's just all kinds of topics that you can go through. Then if you keep on scrolling down, here's the things that are actually trending in the Audible Plus catalog. These are things that are new to the Audible Plus catalog. These are the podcasts that are trending right now. Here's what people are listening to when it comes to podcasts. So this shows you all the stuff in the Plus catalog and things that people are listening to right now. Okay. So if you want to go up here and just browse anything you want to, you can click on the browse and look. It pops up a box where you can go in and find any of these categories you want. And you can just go in and peruse whatever there is out there. Here's the Audible Originals. You can click on that. It would take you to Audible Originals. If you want to look at everything in the Plus catalog, you can click right here on Plus catalog. If you want to look at everything that's out there on Audible Live, you can click on that and it shows you things that are Audible Live. I'm just going to go ahead and click on that. And we'll see what it pulls up. Usually these are like interviews. This is a live question and answer with Michael B. Jordan. So this is just like a sit down session where they've talked to him and they've recorded it and created it into, it's basically like a podcast, but they call it Audible Live. Here's another one right here. Conversation with Stronger Together co-creators. You can scroll on down and see these other things. These are things that have been, these are basically interviews with different celebrities and stars or people that are professionals in certain categories or things like that. So I'm going to go back up here to the top and I'm going to go back into browse and let's see, let's go to let's just go the first one, literature and fiction. And if I go through here, I can browse the topics that are here. This actually breaks down all of the different topics. I can click on any one of them and go to that specific topic. But as I scroll down, I can see all different books here. And for example, here's one that was an Audible original and it's included. I can download it and get that one for free. I can go on through and look at all the other books. Look at all of these that are included. All of this stuff is included. And each one of these, you can go through and just hit the right arrow and go backwards or forwards if you want and scroll through all of these little topics that they have here.
Okay, so now when they're included, does that mean within your first 30 days for free? Or are you saying after the first 30 days, you could still get these for free?
As long as you're a member paying at least $7.95 a month, you have access to all of these.
Okay, thank you. That's
right. So I could go in and download 25 of them if I wanted and have 25 books there that I got for free. But if I cancel my membership, I'm going to lose access to those because they were the free ones that were in the Audible Plus catalog. Hopefully that makes sense. But then if you go back and you join again, whenever, they will unlock those titles for you and you can go back to reading those. Okay. So let's just take a look at, so how do I download a book? Now, here's the thing. If you want to download a book, let's just find one. Here's the Jane Austen collection. Here I'm hovering over the little picture and it shows me everything about it here. So I'm gonna say, yeah, I want to read this one, or I want to whatever. So I want to listen to this one. So I'm going to click on the picture and it's going to take me to another page where it's got three options here. What do I want to do with this title that I just clicked on? I can play it and listen to it right now. I can add it to my library, meaning that I can download it onto a different device and take it with me when I work in the garden or go for a walk or something like that. I can download it and add it to my library on the computer too. Or there's more options here that when you click the more options, If it wasn't included, you'd have to actually pay $38.18 for the whole collection. You can add it to your cart, meaning just like any other shopping site, if you're actually shopping for different books, you can go along and add any books that you want to your cart. You can actually go to audible.com and buy books even if you're not a member, just like you could walk into a store and buy books. You can add it to a wish list. Audible actually has a wish list, kind of like Amazon does, where you can actually create all of the things on the wish list or books that you would like to have. And this becomes handy if you're a member where each month you get a credit. You could go through and peruse all the books and just start making a wish list of the books that you know you want to read someday. And each month when your credit comes out where you have a free credit, you can go to your wish list and pick one of the books that you've already kind of pre-screened and you know you want to listen to. You can also go in and write a review on a book. If you've read it, you can write one of the reviews. You can also give it as a gift. You can give an Audible subscription for 3 months or 6 months to somebody for a Christmas gift if you want. So these are the more options that you have once you click on the title of a book that you think you're interested in. Now, if you want to play it, I'm going to go ahead and play a little bit and you can hear what it sounds like when you start something on Audible. Okay, here we go. Hopefully you'll all be able to hear it. Takes a little bit to load them depending upon internet speed. This may take a while since it's...
This is Audible.
Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. An Audible original, dramatised by Anna Lee. Starring Gugu Mbatha Raw, Emma Mackey and Anya Chalotra. Directed by Celia DeWolf.
Okay, so that's a little bit what it sounds like, and then it takes off reading the book. So that's what happens if you click play. I'm going to go ahead and now what I want to do next is I want to say, let's say I want to add it to my library. So I'm going to click here, add to library. Oops, so sorry. Get it off here. Go ahead and cancel that little box out. I'm going to click add to library and I'm going to add it to my library. So when I do that, it downloads a little bit and it says added to library. So now it's in my library. Okay. Now then, when you're on the app as well as here, it's in my library. So I'm going to go up here and see. It says it's in my library. Let me click on my library up here at the top main menu. I'm going to click on library and we'll see if it's in there. So going to the library, yep, it's the very top one here. So here's the book that I just downloaded to listen to. Now, when you're on the app, there are two things that you have to look at. I'm going to open up my phone screen. Are there any questions so far on what I've talked about right here? Now you can go in and click listen now and it'll pick right up where you left off. That's the thing about Audible is you can have it on your tablet, you can have it on your phone, you can have it on your computer. And wherever you stop listening, the next device that you go to, you can pick right up where you left off. So that's the handy thing about it.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is there any way to find out the rating, not on the book, but on the person who's reading the book?
I believe there is. I believe there is. Let me make myself a note and I'll send you the answer on that.
That would be great.
Yes, because I know a lot of times, and I've crossed things on here that have talked about the different readers, because a lot of times there are people who like certain people that do the reading and they actually will find books that they have read on here and they follow that person and they'll get those books. But I'll put that in the follow-up email, exactly how you can do that. Now, I will say there's a help screen. If you click up here on the help screen, we'll try and talk about that in a little bit. It pops up with a great site that has questions that will answer about any question, any topic that you have in Audible. So briefly,
I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
So my question is, okay, you put the book in your library, but am I correct that like you need to make sure that you download it. Like you could take it in your library and go out for a walk, but if you haven't while you were at home, you know, on the internet,
Right.
you can access it.
Right. That's what I wanted to show you right now. And I'm going to actually show you with the app. So let me mirror my screen image here on my phone. And I happen to have an iPhone, but the Audible app looks pretty much the same on all devices. Let me get it connected up here, and I'm going to actually share my phone screen with you on the computer here. Let me get it back to the screen it needs to be on. And let me stop this share and go in and share my phone screen. And hopefully you can all see my phone in the middle of the page here. Yeah. Okay. So this is the Audible app right here. This is what it looks like. And I've downloaded it on my phone. So I'm going to tap that app and go into it. And I'm going to go to my library. Now the main menu of everything that we see on top on the computer page up here is on the bottom that we see down here. Okay, so here's library down here on the bottom. Everyone see that? I'm going to tap library on my phone, and this will answer the question you were just talking about. Here's the Jane Austen collection that we just added to our library.
I didn't see your library. Is it at the bottom?
It's at the very bottom, down here where it says home, library, discover, and then profile.
I can't see it at all.
Are you seeing, you're not seeing my phone? My phone on the screen?
I see your phone, but I don't see the bottom line at all.
Are the pictures of the gallery of the people maybe covering it? You can move those pictures around.
No, it's not. It's your phone is there, but we can't see the bottom.
Can you see
the books and the titles, but not the bottom of your phone.
Right.
No, I can see it on mine.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Are you on a Mac or what type of?
I'm on a Mac.
Okay, that probably has something to do with it. Do you have the app on your second device?
I have no idea. I haven't looked at it.
Okay. Well, at the very bottom, I apologize for you not being able to see it. I'm not sure why. It's possible that the software I'm using to share my to share my screen possibly isn't working right with a Mac.
Okay.
But I will say you'll see in the app at the bottom of the screen, you will see the same menu that you actually see. Let me move my phone out of the way if I can. The menu on the main web page up here, you'll actually, well, you're not seeing the main page right now. I'm sorry. Let me just leave it with at the very bottom of the app, you will see your menu. So does everybody see the Jane Austen collection right here? Okay, so this is what we just added to our library, but as was asked just a minute ago, it's not downloaded to our device yet. See, this picture is kind of grayed out, and you see a little download arrow right here. This means that it's in your library, but it hasn't been downloaded yet. So I'm going to tap on this image on my phone, and it will begin to download. You can see that it's now downloading. And once it's finished, then we can go in and listen to it on that device. So does that help answer the question about getting it on your device so you can go take it with you for a walk or travel to the airport or whatever?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it does.
Okay.
And then I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, but when you're done listening to it, then that's my question. Do you just leave it there, or do you do something with it so you don't get so filled up?
You can actually return it. And I'll say return it, or you can remove it from your library. You sure can. And you can actually go in to the help section. Will actually tell you how to remove that. But yeah, you don't have to actually keep all of that data on your phone. I will send you some information. I believe most audiobooks, they say, take up approximately 28 megabytes, I want to say, which really isn't that much. But once you download it and listen to it on your device, you want to make sure that you actually download it on your device so that when you're out walking or whatever, you're not using the data on your phone. Okay. So that you're not actually streaming it live and using your data. Okay, so that's a little bit about how you would actually download it onto your device. You tap on, let's say I want to go and look at, let's see, let me say that I'm just on my phone and I want to actually go in and I want to download something on my phone. What I would do is go to the bottom of the page. There's a little arrow that says discover. And if I click discover, let me close that out. Maybe I didn't tap the right one. If I click discover, it should pull up where I can go in and actually browse through everything that I want to look at on the app itself. So this shows what's trending. Here's all the different topics. I can tap on any of these mysteries and thrillers, and it brings up the mysteries and thrillers. I can go through, it shows me what's included. And if I want to download something from right here, all I have to do, let's say I want to download this, the morning light right here. So I'm going to tap on the morning light, and it actually pulls it up right here. And then as you scroll up on your phone, it gives you the options of what this tells you a little bit about it. If I want to play it or add it to my library, you can see right here. So let's say I don't want to play right now, but I do want to add it to my library. So I can tap on add to library, and it says success. Your title is being delivered to your library. So let me go back and tap on my library on the phone here and see if it's there. Sure is, it's right up here up top. However, it's not downloaded to my phone yet. I still have to tap on it because I see the picture grayed out and I see the little down arrow. So I'm going to go ahead and actually download it on my phone. So that's how you can get all of these different titles just through the app. It's very easy to use. And the best thing to do, go ahead. Question?
Where's the down arrow that you were talking about on the book? I don't see what you're talking about. The yellow thing?
No, that means it's downloaded. Hold on one more second. Let me go back in here, and I'm going to actually go back and I'll download another book and show you.
Okay. Thank you.
Let's say Killer by Nature right here. I want to download this one. So I'm going to tap on it on my device, and it's going to tell me that it's added to my library. Or actually, I'm sorry. I have to scroll down here and go to my options. I can play it. I can add it to my library, or I can actually do the other options. I want to go ahead and add it to my library. So I'm going to tap add to library. Now it says it's in my library. So I'm going to go back to my menu on the bottom of the phone, which some of you can't see. I'm going to tap on library, and here it is, Killer by Nature. See in the very corner of this picture that I'm circling, this little down arrow? Are you seeing that now?
Yes, I see it now. Yes.
Okay. That's telling you that it's not been downloaded to your device.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So then all I have to do is just tap on the picture that's grayed out, and it will start downloading it to my device. And now you can see the bright yellow ribbon, and actually it's in full color now, although it's black and white. Okay. So can everyone see right here on the bottom where I can click right here and continue listening to a book? Do you see my arrow down here where you can see it's right above where the menu is? You guys with the Mac, are y'all able to see this?
No.
Okay. Well, at the bottom of the app is actually where you can listen to, and you tap. It's got a little picture of the book, and then it's got the arrow where you can tap and start listening. This is something called The Emancipation of Veronica, something I can't remember, but I was listening to it. I'm going to tap on it here and start listening again. For some reason, it won't let me listen again. There it is. It should pop up where it's full screen now. Does everyone see it now? The Emancipation of Veronica McAllister.
Yes,
So
I do.
Okay, that's the one that I'm listening to right now. Now, if you notice in the bottom half of the screen here, and hopefully you can see this, this is where you can actually start playing it by tapping on the little big arrow here. And there's some other features and things that you can do too. Those of you with the Mac may not be able to see this, but at the very bottom, there are things that you can do. One of them is you can change the speed of the reader. Right here where it says normal speed, which is 1.0, that's your normal speed. And this is what it would sound like. Doesn't want to play. Okay, I'm going to X out of that one and open up another book.
Okay. This is Audible.
So we're now listening to FDR's
Blackstone
Folly.
Audio presents FDR's Folly, How Roosevelt and His New Deal Prolonged the Great Depression by Jim Powell. Introduction. The Great Depression has had an immense influence on our thinking.
So that's the speed, the normal speed that it's reading at. Now, if I want to change it and maybe make it a little slower, some people read faster than others. So if I need to slow it down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the app picture, I tap on that little 1.0 and it pulls up a whole menu where I can set it on any speed that I want. I can speed it way up or I can slow it way down. So right here, it shows you it's set at normal speed. I'm going to slow it down a little bit. I'm going to go down to 0.8. So if I tap on 0.8 and go back and listen, here's what it sounds like now.
Particularly about ways to handle an economic crisis, yet we know surprisingly little about it. Most historians have focused on chronicling Franklin D. Roosevelt's charismatic personality.
That's a little more comfortable speed for me to listen to, where I can take in everything that they're saying. So that's one of the things you can do, is change the speed of it. At the bottom in the menu, there's the chapters. You can tap it and it actually pulls up all of the chapters. Maybe I want to skip to a certain chapter. It got a little boring and I want to go to another chapter. All I have to do is tap on, let's say I want to go ahead and go to chapter 2. Click on chapter 2.
Chapter 2.
And it starts reading.
What caused the Great Depression?
Now, when I stop on this device,
if I listen to that one,
right. If I stop reading on or listening on my phone, and maybe I go to bed and I want to listen a little bit before I go to bed, there's actually a sleep timer at the bottom on the menu here. And if you tap on the sleep timer, it actually pulls up where you can set a sleep timer for however many minutes that you want to actually listen to it. So let's say I fall asleep fairly quickly. I'll set it for 30 minutes. And when I put it on 30 minutes, then it'll
July 1st.
It'll read for 30 minutes and then it'll stop. So let's say the next morning I wake up and that afternoon I want to read some more. And I'm not quite sure what the last 10 minutes or so was of it. This 60 right here on either side of it, I can tap on that and I can move it backwards a minute or 2 minutes for however many times I tap on it. If I want to move it back a minute, let's say there was something I was actually listening to and I wanted to listen again to see what they had to say. All I have to do is tap on the 60 and it moves it back a minute. If you watch the line up here, each time I tap on that, it keeps moving the line back a little bit. So I can move it back 7 minutes if I want, and then I can listen again. Okay. And then your little forward arrow, of course, takes you forward. If you want to go forward X number of minutes, you can do the same thing too. Okay. Any questions on that, on the app right there? Everybody's pretty good with that one? Okay.
Well, wait a minute. I had to unmute. The question I have is probably unique to me, but for some reason, when I get to the point where I'm tapping on, I'm not hearing anything. It's quiet, and then I have to turn my phone all the way off sometimes, and then bring it all the way back on to get it to go. Like I said, it could be unique to my phone.
It could be. What type phone do you have?
An iPhone.
Yeah, I do too. So you're saying when you listen to it and stop and go back to it, you're not hearing it?
Yeah, sometimes I can't get it to go. I can't get it to continue.
That's what happened to me just a while ago, and I think I wasn't tapping the arrow I think I was tapping it too quick. It could be something like that. I know just a second ago that's what was happening with me. If I tap it too quick, it doesn't want to go. But it's something that either I agree. It's either the touch, it's not picking up the touch on the phone or something like that. But yeah, it must be something like that. Okay. So let's go back. What I would like to do now, I'm going to minimize this and get off of this screen share, and I'm going to go back to the computer screen share. We have about 10 minutes left. I just want to show you a couple other things, and then we'll answer any final questions that we may have. So let me share my screen again and go back to the website. And I want to go back through a couple of things here. If you want to look for podcasts, all you have to do is click up here at the top. and that'll pull up nothing but podcasts. A while ago, someone was asking, I can't remember who, I'm sorry, about how to find podcasts. And here are all the podcasts that are included here. You can just keep scrolling and go through all of them. Okay, going back up to the top, if you have any specific question, for example, we were even talking about rating the readers, you can type it in here. Let's see if we can find anything about rating the readers here. Let me put in reader ratings. Whoops, it doesn't want to. Internet's moving a little bit slow here today. Let me give it a minute. Still trying to load reader ratings. And hopefully it'll take me to that. We'll see if it'll pull up anything about reader ratings and how you can find different readers. So here's all the results it's showing me just by typing it in here, a search bar, looking for some help. So I don't know that this is actually going to do us any good here for what we were looking for. But I will say one thing, there is a help center, and I'm going to actually send you this link. And generally speaking, the help center is at the bottom of every page. At least that's what I found in the past. Let me see. Right down here, it says help center. And if you click on it, it brings up a page that has the answer to everything you ever wanted to ask about Audible, including memberships. It looks just like this. And if you scroll right on down a little bit, here are all the topics that you can go to. It talks about the Plus catalog. If I click on that, it will open up a page that explains everything about the Plus catalog. You can click on any of these links and go down a whole nother little rabbit hole for anything that you want to know. That tells you everything about the Plus catalog. If I go back to that help page again, the next topic down here is cancel or pause. You can pause your memberships in some instances. If maybe you're going to go travel abroad and you don't want to pay your membership while you're out of the country, you can actually put it on pause. If you decide you want to cancel your membership, maybe you're 2 months into it and decide you've got all the reading you can do for a while, this right here will explain take you to all of the many links that are out there for ways to go about canceling your membership. And it should pull all of that up here in just a minute. So this explains everything about canceling your membership. I'm going to go back to the main help page. Down here's a section on troubleshooting. If you have any kind of problems with Audible where it's not working properly or whatever, this will take you to a site with another 10 or 12 links that you can go down for specific answers to questions you may have. Right here explains about returns. You can return books. Let's say you got a book with your credit and it wasn't what you expected. You can actually return that book and get another book. And this explains all the ways to do it. If you have questions about your credits, how they work, how long they last, this whole section explains about your credits. And I will say credits are good for 1 year. So when you do get them, if you join that particular plan, go ahead and make your purchase up front. Is if you cancel your membership, you still have access to that one because you got it with your credit. And that credit's just as if you actually paid cash for that book. If you have questions about your library, here's everything that you may need to know about your library, how to use it, how to put things in it, how to take things out of it, everything that you might need to know there. So this is your help page that is at the bottom of every page you go to. But I will send you this direct link so you can go straight to it too if you want to. I will also send you a link that looks like this. This is the link with all of the membership plans on it, and you can go through it again on your own after you do your free month. And it will tell you everything that we went over today. This talks about your basic plan that's $7.95 a month. And this is what you get when you sign up for your trial. You get access to all of the podcasts you want, all of the Audible Plus catalog, everything that's out there. You get access to all of that where you can try it for a month. And if you decide you want to keep that level of membership, it's only $7.95 a month. If you want to start getting the credits, then you'll pay a little bit more and you would go to this plan. Now, I will say, if you decide for the second month you want to go to the plan where you actually get credits, they only charge you $7 for the very first month. They're running a little bit of a special there. So if you if you go on and do your trial this month and then you go on and start your membership next month, it's only going to be $7 for next month. And then after that, it would be $14.95 if you opted for that credit plan. So here's everything right here about the plans. And I'll send you this link where you can go back through it again and take a look at anything that you want to know about the plans. Okay, let me open it up for questions. Any questions that somebody might have about anything about Audible?
I would say that I have starting to get way more than I need, and I'd like to be able to cancel it, which I know I can go in and cancel it, but I want to be able to have access to all of my library, ones that I purchased. So
Yes.
Is there anything I should do
No,
I do that? So I don't.
No, you will always have those libraries, those things that are in your library. You will always have those. If they're ones that you actually purchased and you paid for them actually, yes, you will always have those, even if you cancel your membership. You can still go back to your Audible app or audible.com on your computer, and you can still listen to those books you've bought. Because it's just as if you went to a bookstore and actually purchased the books. They can't ever take them back from you.
So they don't necessarily have to be downloaded. If they're in order to access them after I drop my membership.
If they're in your library, right? If you're just using a computer, I would suggest though downloading them to your device just to make sure that you have them. That way they're on your device. There's no way that they can ever get those off of your device.
Right. That's all I ever use is my device anyway.
Yeah. I would go ahead and download everything. Make sure everything that you see on the computer is in your library, which it should be anyway. But if you have any of those where the picture's grayed out with a little arrow on it, go ahead and download it to your device so you can listen on your device and you'll never lose it.
If you download them, will that be available when you travel on a plane or train? But if you don't download them, they won't be available when you're on a train or on a flight.
Right. If you don't download them to your device, you're going to have to be connected to a Wi-Fi somewhere in order to listen to it. If you download it to your device, it's actually stored on your device and you don't have to be connected to an internet to listen to it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Anything else I can answer for anyone? Okay. Just to wrap up, I will say, go online and try the free trial. Make yourself a note of what date it was that you started your free trial, and then you can go back and cancel that free trial if at the end of it you decide you no longer want to use it. But give it a try and play around with it. See all the different things that you can do with it. Don't forget that you can change the speed of the listening. You can set a sleep timer. You can set going forward and backwards. There's all kinds of things you can do with it so that it fits to your style, where you want to listen to that book. Okay, check out all the different plans, go through the help list and take a look at all of the different questions that you may have and get your answers to those. And then hopefully you can make a good decision as to whether you want to move forward with a membership or not. Everybody good? Okay. All right. Well, I thank you guys so much. Please help us spread the word about Get Set Up and let us know if there's other classes you'd like to see.
Thank you, and happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Happy Mother's Day to everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.